Hi there. AI fluency has become the new currency for getting a job, for getting promoted. You may be a leader and what your CEO and boards are asking for. But what is AI fluency? And are people really getting it right in how they're assessing? And who's getting it right? My name is Shajad Ahmed. I worked in tech for years behind the scenes, influencing executive decision making on talent, culture, and the future of work. Over the last year, I've gone on the ground, spoken to people, done my research, and put my own judgment on what is AI fluency and who's really evaluating it in interviews as well as when assessing leadership teams. So today I'm going to walk you through what is AI fluency, how it's being assessed, and how can you build that. And spoiler alert, it is not the skills that everyone is thinking about. There's just one thing that is being sought after. So with that, let's go. First up, we all have felt the FOMO around AI and AI tools. There are so many tools out there, and everyone's either on social media or in the news. Again, this is the AI media industry complex pushing it at everyone. And you're like, okay, how do I learn and what do I learn if I'm going to go apply for a job or I'm going to get evaluated for being a future high performer? And, I call this the fool's paradise or the AI tools paradise, where people are rushing after tools and skills. But that is not exactly what is being looked after. And that is not what you are going to get evaluated for. Tools matter, but there's another thing that you have to step back from a first principles thinking. It's this: there's strategy and then there are tactics. It is not skills, it is a mindset shift that is being sought after and that is being very carefully assessed, especially in a market when you have tons of talent out there and you have tons of AI slop that people are using right now to position themselves. What is mindset and what are skills? So, mindset is strategy, skills are tactics. Strategy is a choice that you make of who do you want to be and who you do not want to be. And then you pursue that through multiple tactics. And in this space around AI fluency, skills are tactics. Tactics can change over time, but your strategy remains the same. What is it that you want to achieve and what is it that you want to be? And that is exactly that one thing that is being looked after and sought after by leaders, by hiring managers right now, in both my direct interviews as well as a framework. And I've tested this framework out with people who are doing actual work and meaningfully building something around AI rather than being the pretenders. So, what is that? Let me walk you through that. So, why is AI fluency being sought after? Well, we're in two worlds right now, the old world and the new world. We have the old world, which is operating as AI pretenders slop. And then you have the new world that most of the time does not come out on the public sphere, but we're seeing it on the ground. They're the AI real players shop. In the old world, you have both the companies as well as the employees sitting in the companies as well, who are like, I am here just to survive. I just want to get my job done, and that's it. So, what companies are prioritizing for is competence, and employees are happily showing their competence of just getting their job done and surviving. That involves political games that's being very performative, and also from the individual lens as well. They're like, I just want to get this is a job, it's not a career for me. But then in every team, every organization, you have people, talent who are always thinking about, no, this is a moment. We need to reinvent ourselves. And those are the people who then leave these large companies, either go build something of their own, or they're going into startups that are actually looking to build something for real in AI and being AI first. Those companies are looking after these people and saying, we need these people who have this mindset of reinvention, who keep questioning the status quo. And you will see on both sides, there are the companies who are happy to showcase that, hey, we're doing something with AI. They haven't really changed their products, they haven't really changed their strategy, they haven't really changed the way of working and how they develop their talent. They're happy to just add on something with AI. Almost every company is claiming AI right now. But then you have the real players who are thinking from an AI native lens, and they're like, okay, if we rethought all of this, how do we go about it? And they know that AI is not the only deal. It is useless without domain expertise? How can we get people who've been thinking with a mindset of reinventing and are frustrated with what's happened in their domain? And can they help us build this? And those are the people who leave companies as well because they want to do more, right? They don't want to just get their job done. Is this just my opinion? No, this is what we're seeing on the ground. And timing wise, is as I was doing this video, an HBR article just came up around my feed, and I decided to share that as data as well for where this slop is real. This is an HBR article that came out in September. It is a partnership between researchers and leaders from Better Up Labs and Stanford Social Media Lab. It's called the AI generated work slop. It's destroying productivity. The work slop is a term that they came up with. You see the names of the authors there, so make sure you check them out. I've been a Better Up, beta tester many years back and involved with some of their conferences in the past. They're doing some good work around research. So, what is work slop? So, the way they define work slop is this AI generated work content that masquerades as good work but fails to meaningfully advance a task. Probably seen it. There's like emails, presentations, analysis that comes your way. There's like coding that comes your way, and you look at it and you're like, wow, I need someone else to now redo this and get it right. What does the data show in the research that they did? And they did a research on around, I think, 1,125, if I'm right, workers across industries in the US. Here's what they found: about 40% of US workers received work slop from their core workers in just the past month. So 40%, 2 in 5. 1% of the work content that people received, they felt was work slop using AI. That's a big chunk. And then for every item that came around that's work slop, on average, people express they spend around 2 hours, so roughly around 2 hours per incident to fix it. That's, if you take a 40-hour week, that's like 5%. And on top of it, you add more frustration, you go back and forth. You also make sure that you're not, the person who produced the work slop is not the person that you want to, ruffle up the feathers, right? It's going to take some extra hours out of you. On top of it, the frustration of you. And that's what it shows up, right? These AI pretender slops, right? These companies where seeing this, the colleagues, they think less of each other. They're very polite here. They don't respect their colleagues, right? Because of the work that they're getting, whether it's creative work, right? Are they capable? Reliability, trust, right? And their intelligence. That is more than 50% expressed that they thought less of them. Very few, you see around those 10%, 12%, thought more of them when they saw that work. And this is why AI fluency is such a hot topic right now. Because on one hand, you have these old world, old school companies, even though they may look innovative on paper and in the media, but the everything underneath them and fueling them is still old school thinking. They are and they don't know what to assess for. They've done tons of layoffs, including AI people, and then put jobs out again for hiring more AI people. Who's going to really assess them? So their employees themselves are involved with a lot of slop. And then how are you going to even assess for? So, monkey see, monkey do. That's what's happening there. And that's why those who are real and investors know that, hey, we are going to build something that is beyond this macroeconomic situation right now. And, if a recession happens beyond that, this is going to be the next growth lever. How are we assessing and finding the right people and make sure that we have the right leadership teams as well? That's where the aerial players shop come in. And so I went and talked to VCs, attended conferences, had sidebar conversations, talked to product managers, hiring managers, technology leaders, product leaders, executive recruiters, and people from non-coding domains as well. So marketing, HR, finance, strategy. And with this first principles framework in my mind, that it's going to be mindset, which is going to be the strategy here. It's not skills. That's how I built my fluency as well in it. And it got validated. So here it goes. What is AI fluency? Let's first define that. AI fluency is the ability to collaborate responsibly with intelligent systems to solve real problems. This is my definition. AI fluency is not just going out and learning a skill and showcasing that you know a certain tool. It's not to display parlor tricks using tools. It is the ability to actually collaborate with AI and solve real problems, and in the process be responsible for your domain, making sure it's right, making sure it's not harming anyone. Right? Not everyone's doing that, but that for me is AI fluency. Res- Being responsible, collaborating with AI, right? Not just relying on AI, but collaborating with it, and then solving real problems. That is what is AI fluency. How is it being assessed? So, a common question you'll hear in an interview is, for assessing AI fluency by the real players, is take a past workflow from your resume. Tell us what the original process is, and then how do you redesign it using AI. Major red flag is when the work sloppers just say, I asked ChatGPT, or I asked Claude, and like, no, here to, we're not here to applaud you because you used the tool. We're here to, what did you think about? And I think what they're actually asking is, did you have any, frustration about your domain that you're like, I want to change this, and now you saw AI as an opportunity. You used it to learn. You used it to how go stretch yourself as well beyond your domain and figure out how can I redesign this in a way that it pushes it forward because you wanted to transform it. For years, you had that frustration. That is what they're actually asking for. And what does that imply? What does that, why are they asking this? It is these three things. Number one, they are looking for a mindset that no matter what domain you're coming from, had this frustration with the domain that you wanted it to be transformed and be acting a certain way from first principles. Yet the whole industry, the status quo was, that's not what we're doing. And you've kept up with that frustration to keep pushing, keep thinking about it. That normally represents someone who is thinking about their craft. They're really good at what they do. And they also think about, okay, how do I make this better? Because I just don't want to just clock in and clock out. Number one, that is displayed when you talk about a workflow from your work. That is in that interview question. Number two, what they're looking at is, did you use AI as a team member? These two are the key mindsets, right? Domain frustration. Now, domain frustration can't be learned. This is who you are. If you are passionate about what you do and you care about your craft, this will show up. It will scream beyond any resume and LinkedIn profile when you start talking. And the second part, which can be learned, is this mindset, which is the future mindset of this AI fluency framework, is using AI as a team member. You're collaborating with it, you're leveraging it for your domain, but then you're adding your human judgment to it. And then the third, the output, is that you actually redesigned the work that you did with AI and showed some results, transform the domain. And by transforming the domain doesn't just mean productivity, that, hey, we were able to do this faster. It means efficiency and effectiveness. It could mean that you ended up changing the way things happen that no one had ever thought of before because of your uniqueness in the way you used AI as a team member. That is what is being sought after. And then if you are looking to position yourself as a leader as well, there is something even beyond that for leaders, which is, as a leader, are you strategically thinking not just about, hey, I want to put AI in my domain? You're saying, no, I know the domain. I have now learned how AI is going to partner with humans, and we're going to learn that every day. It's going to change. But my domain actually makes AI transformation and AI adoption in the company better. For example, I keep hearing from HR people that, okay, what about AI and HR? And I remind them that no company has made money by just saving money on HR. So no matter where you put AI in, it's not going to be the game changer for the company. In this field, you HR, the right people who are frustrated about their domain and knew this domain, you're some of the best experts on behavioral science. You should be going and helping the entire company on AI using your domain knowledge. Same goes for marketing, same goes for strategy, finance, coding, product. And that is where we're seeing who those top 1%ers are. Is this fluency, this framework around domain expertise, is this standard? I think that is where, if you know your domain, for your domain, there are certain nuances. I'm going to share this as an example. So Peter Benet, great friend, he's doing some amazing work for marketers. He has this community called the AI Ready CMO. Again, no sponsorship. No one's paid me for any of this. I just am sharing. If anyone's interested, I'm using marketing as an example, just like I covered HR. I think he put up this recently. He has this, you could go and check out your AI readiness if you're in marketing, and he put up this framework around 5 areas: strategy, collaboration, creativity, technology, team skills, for you to assess, are you ready? Now, does that mean that we have a different framework for every domain? No, let's step back. We talked about our assessment, which was it is domain frustration as a mindset and then using AI as a team member for you to redesign workflows. Then for each domain, the workflow's nature is different. For marketing here, what Peter talked about, strategy, collaboration, creativity. I would argue that you could take other domains and leverage. Peter is very generous. He shares his work publicly. You could take that and apply it to your domain and add nuances to it. For example, I think for non-coding functions, right, who are going to get disrupted because it's no longer going to be just you're an HR or marketing person. This is the real MBA that the MBA was supposed to be, not just a networking fest, but where you get to learn cross domains. Is you're like, okay, there's strategy in every role we do. There's some sort of analysis and research. Then there's collaboration. There's creativity, creative output that we have to bring up. This technological enablement, which is actually execution, operationalization of things. And then there's team. All of these play a part. And then, last year, recommendation, communication of ideas. It is going to change. We've been texting in the last, few decades, and it's changing to voice, and then even beyond that. So take your domain, look at domain as a frustration. That's your mindset. AI as a team member, start playing with that, and then take a workflow and figure out, okay, in your work, what is it that is really valued in your domain, and where can I use AI for this? And so you could do this for any function as you think about. I just use Peter's example because it was, I think, very spot on. How you build this muscle is that you, again, look at workflow for your domain. Could be planning, could be how you communicate, could be looking at resources, could be, your day-to-day documentation, working with the team. Take that and then take your domain expertise and say, all right, this is how things have happened. Now let me figure out, using AI, how could we reimagine all of this? And then can I change things, maybe one part at a time, or maybe the entire workflow? And then I'm able to display really that I'm not one of those work sloppers. I'm an actual real player in AI. That is not only going to be the key currency, especially as we enter 2026, it is going to be not for getting a job, but also for getting promoted, also being reached out for crazy opportunities that are going to come up in this once in a life moment that we are here with AI. For you, that, there are doors that you probably don't know ever existed. And the way you create those doors and open those doors for yourself is around, again, this mindset shift. It's mindset over skills, and it's domain expertise you already have, domain frustration you probably already have. It's this mindset of using AI as a team member. I am going to cover in my next video, how do you build that mindset for AI as a team member? What are the hacks around it? So with that, bye for now. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, because that's the only signal I have that these videos are helping others. And please send me any and all feedback. With that, till next time, bye.